And welcome to what we're going to do today is a little Navina Flow. So a little bit of balance of everything. We're going to try to mix in some strength and some flexibility and then chill you right out and let you go on for the rest of your day. So once again, we'll be doing about a 30-ish minute flow and I hope you enjoy. So let's take our time. We're going to go right into a ragdoll position today. So from this position, we'll find our way into tabletop. You're going to tuck your toes underneath. Slide the fingertips close towards your knees so that you can actively push, and we'll find our way into a forward fold. So feel free to take a couple breaths. We're going to wiggle out the hips a little bit and just kind of start to move through the body in ways where we're starting to connect the movement with our breath. So you might even kind of mimic a little bit of a cat-cow. You might lift the heels high. You might bend the knees low. Take just a few breaths. And the less we think about the way we move here, the better. Otherwise, we're being too linear and left brain with it, which means we'll go into the same space every time. So our body's different a little bit every day. So let's take our hands, hook onto opposite elbows, and then pour the weight of your upper body down. I want you to bend your knees just a little more than you need to. We can get a little drippier within that upper back. And again, even here, sometimes the head or the neck needs a little bit of convincing to really let go. Now as you inhale, press through your feet evenly, lengthen the backs of those legs. As we exhale, let that upper body drip a little bit more. So let's take just 2 more deep breaths here. And 1 more. Now as you exhale, relax the arms down towards the floor. We're going to inhale, roll all the way up to the top of the mat. Now let's step to the top with the feet hips width apart. So you're going to really feel an even pressure. Now again, think hip width is from the hip bones, not from the outside of the hip. So inhale here, palms forward. Now remember in this position, as we bring the arms down the back side of the body, we fold the ribs in so the back of the body's long. Now if you want a really good trick here, if we can find an element of this in every posture, then you know your body's going to be safe and really powerful as well. So what I mean by that is as we inhale, let's find it in our first flow. So we keep that position of our body. We don't arch the back or tilt the pelvis. We're going to exhale, fold forward, let the whole body go. Now we inhale, find our halfway lift. Now even here, this would not be an element of Tadasana. This would be lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant your palms. Step back, we'll modify our first one. No matter how many full flows we've done, let's warm the body up, untuck the toes, and lower slow. Inhale, hands a little wider. Exhale, slowly release. Let's do that one more time. Now maybe we draw the fingertips and lift the same way. So still utilizing the low back. And then if that feels good, we actually start to lift up. Now make sure we don't sink into the position. We're pressing to create space back of the body long. Exhale and slowly release. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Let's try to reverse that so we're always using our strength and not momentum. Tuck the tailbone and find your downward facing dog. Now keep pressing your hips up to the sky. And remember, a really common thing is to start to bring the palms in so that we feel the heels go down. Now, I've been practicing for a very long time. I won't tell you how long. But what happens when we do that and we go to flow is we're way too far. So this is how we get most of our shoulder injuries in yoga. Don't shorten the stance to get the heels down. My heels don't quite touch, and they might never, but they get closer a little bit every year. So take another deep breath. Let's come into a full flow. So right from this position, here's the point. We should be able to fully extend and lengthen the heart forward. Nothing but the hands and feet are going to touch the floor this whole time in our full flow. We press away, and then even here we push down and find our way back to down dog. Take a nice big deep breath in. And big breath out. Now inhale, right leg is going to kick up towards the sky. You're going to lift the left heel high, Step the right foot forward and place it down with control. Placement, again, never needs to be perfect. You want to have that back heel high and then be able to lengthen the heart forward. Now let's bring the right hand to the hip, and from that position, you're going to rotate your right shoulder open and watch that that left shoulder doesn't collapse. So you breathe here. Anytime you need, drop that back knee down. Inhale, lengthen the left side of your body. Exhale, we're going to open and rotate a little bit more. Inhale, lengthen, and let's open. 2 more breaths. Now let's see if we can get a little bit lighter on those left fingertips. So we don't even really need it. Our legs are so powerful. It's just for support. 1 more breath. Inhale, let your hand frame that right foot. Let's lengthen the heart forward and see if you can float that right leg back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, open. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. 1 more in. And 1 more out. Inhale, left leg kicks up to the sky. Bend the knee, and then float that left foot through. Push away. So here's where we tend to sink. Push and draw the belly in, and then we place that left foot flat. Inhale here. And it's not always graceful. It's okay. Sometimes we need to hike that foot up. That's all good. Inhale here. Left hand to the hip. Rotate that left hip back as you start to open that left shoulder up. So don't let the hip sink out. Again, you're always pushing away, engaging your body. And then from there, reaching through that left arm. Inhale, lengthen a little bit more. And now open a little bit more into that twist. Make sure your right shoulder's not collapsing. Again, the depth is irrelevant if the base is not solid. Keep breathing. It's even dangerous. We always want to have a safe and solid practice. 1 more deep breath. And then inhale. Slowly take that left hand down to the floor. Lengthen the heart forward and float that left leg back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, find your back bend. Exhale, and find your downward facing dog. Take a nice big deep breath in through your nose. And a nice big deep breath out. Let go of whatever you need. Remember, don't just let that upper back soften down. Some of you, again, can be incredibly flexible in the shoulders so that we get a little bit lazy in our down dog. It should never look like this. You're pushing away to lengthen, and then from there, we can lift the heels high. Bend the knees, step to the top of the mat with the feet together this time. Lengthen the heart forward, hands to shins if you need. Exhale, fold forward. Bend into the knees a lot, and we're going to reach the arms up towards the sky. So again, finding that element of Tadasana, tailbone is dropping down, arms reaching up. We're going to take a nice big breath in. Now let's interlock the fingers, come all the way up to standing nice. Inhale, lengthening the sides of our body. We're going to hinge to the right side of the room. Now you want to imagine like your body's in between 2 panes of glass. So meaning the inside line of your feet are anchoring down to lift you straight up. We're not tilting or letting the hips go forward. We're in one solid line. Breathing here for 2. Now you can bring the palms together as long as the shoulders stay spacious. I find most of the population it won't. So keep the palms open, keep the arms strong. Take 1 more breath. Now we've just created all this length in the left side of the body. Let's keep that length and bend into the knees alive. Palms come to your heart, open and expand the chest. You're going to take your left elbow to your right knee, but I want you to keep your gaze down. Your knee is going to want to trick you and come forward. Keep that side of your body long, and then press into your palms to lengthen. You're going to notice your thumbs likely line up with the right shoulder. Push your right palm and actively twist, but resist with your left heel. Now, if this enhances the stretch, right arm reaches up, left hand comes down. But if you notice your left shoulder comes forward, don't do it. Keep using your hands. Now, inhale here, a little longer. Look at the right thumb if you can. Sink the hips a little bit lower and pull your belly button away from your thighs. One more deep breath. Bring your hands to your heart. Because you can, just hold in the center. Exhale, fold forward. Big breath where you are. You're as relaxed as you can be with that upper body. Now bring the feet a hip width apart. Take your peace fingers, wrap around the inside of the big toe. Now anchor down through that big toe mound again. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward. Exhale, you're going to start to actively pull your upper body down. Lengthen the back of the body. And see if you can bring a bit more weight into those toes. 3 more breaths. 2. 1 more breath. Slowly shift the weight back into the heels. And then we'll just from here wiggle till the feet are together, back to a hip together with the heels slightly apart. So that's that heel behind middle toe alignment. Inhale here, bend the knees a lot. Arms sweep up, we sink low. Breathe deeply. Get a little lower. So we're just really firing up those legs, and then we're going to interlock the fingers again. Shoulders come down and come all the way up. As you exhale, we hinge to the left. Now you're breathing into the right side of your body. If it's okay, gaze is up towards those right fingertips. Breathe deeply here as you inhale, lengthen a little more. As you exhale, hinge a little bit further. Lengthen and lift up a little more. Go ahead, taking 1 more deep breath. Good, and then let's inhale slowly, come all the way up. Now we've created lots of space. Let's keep it and maintain it as we bend the knees. Hand to the heart. So just like you would in a plank to open the chest, it's the same thing here. Turn and twist. Right elbow hooks that left knee, and then you turn and open. So again, often the thumbs will go towards that top shoulder. When you're ready, you start to press till the hands line with the sternum. Then only do you add the extension of the arms. But if it causes your shoulders to come forward, there's no point. Keep using that connection to get long through the sides of your body. Rotate open a little bit more. Sink those hips a little bit lower. And then rinse out 1 more breath. Take your time, bring your hands to your heart, pause in the center because you can. Exhale, fold. Bring the feet to hips width apart. Inhale. This time exhale, fold forward and relax that upper body. Now we're going to inhale here. We're going to play with a fun flow. A little challenging because you're all members, you've got a strong practice. We're going to inhale here, soft bend in the knees. Just kind of roll all the way up. Stepping the right foot into the center. Now left foot's going to face forward. We're going to start with Trikonasana. Inhale, open the arms up. I want you to think of long lines this whole time. You're going to reach forward. Bring that hand in front of the ankle. Do not bring it down to the floor if it causes your torso to come forward. Press in a way where that left arm can reach up. Now breathe deeply, feeling the back of the body long. As you exhale, rotate open a little bit more. 2 more breaths. And this should give you a really nice, beautiful stretch through the side of your body. If not, rotate that hip back. You should feel that. Now bring your left hand to your hip. Draw your gaze down. We're going to bend that right knee. Now you're actively reaching through that right fingertips. Now blocks are great. You take your right hand slightly to the right, and then we're going to press down into our half moon. Keep breathing deeply here. Now pull with your left hand, and then maybe reach with the left arm. Soft gaze. Maybe we start to look towards the side wall. Here's where it gets tricky. You start to look up towards the sky. Keep breathing deeply here, getting longer through the sides of your body. Holding for 2, pushing away with that right foot, and 1 more breath. Now inhale, we're going to take that left hand, now push with your right hand so everything's really connected. We're going to square the body off. Inhale, lengthen the heart forward. From this position, start to bring that right hand to the hip. Push that hip back as you lengthen the heart. And then from there, just like the lunge, obviously a little bit more challenging now. And then maybe we even start to reach that right arm up. But do not sacrifice the length or the height of that left leg to get it. Let that be your anchor so that you can rotate open. And we hold for 3, 2, and 1. Now this time, see if we can take that right hand instead to the back of the right leg, finishing here. We might start to bend and go a little bit deeper. Some of you are going to kick up a little higher. You might play with bringing the left hand closer, a little closer. You might actually take the left hand and grab the right ankle. Don't hesitate. Hold your body, hug it in as you kick higher. Holding for 3, 2, 1 more breath, kick up higher, and then take your palms down. Let's step that left foot back. Now we've got some leverage here. Float that right leg. Inhale, heart forward as you exhale, lower. Inhale, open and expand the chest, and then exhale, finding your downward facing dog. Take a nice big deep breath in, big breath out. Another breath in, and a bigger breath out. Bend into your knees, gaze forward, and then step or hop your feet, find the top of your mat. Lift the head and the chest. Exhale, and then fold forward. Good. From this position here, we're going to take the arms, reach them all the way up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, and then bring your hands together at the center of the chest. So now you're going to step your right foot back, and from there, we're pointing with the left toes this time. So right foot in, left toes, the heels should line with the middle of the right foot. Arms are going to open up, big breath. You're going to reach long, and then bring that left hand in front. Now you want to maintain the length, and then right arm reaches from that position. As you inhale, lengthen a little more. And as you exhale, you rotate open, soft gaze up. Two more breaths. And one more here. Draw your gaze down. Let's bring that right hand to the hip. Now left hand is going to come. Now you want to have as much space between your hand as your foot as you do between your armpit and your hip. From here, when you're ready, right leg is going to kick up. You're rotating that right hip back, so you're stacking them ideally. Right arm might even start to reach. Now here's where it'll get a little wobbly. You start to draw your gaze forward, and remember, meet those wobbles with your breath. Right arm reaches up. That's one of those patterns we want to rewire. It's not a bad thing when you get wobbly. It means you found your edge and you can find a place where you get stronger. So empower yourself with your breath. One more here. And if you fall, just smile. It's all good. We can't grow without falling once in a while. Let's inhale. Now, right hand. So you got to really push with that left foot so that you can find that right hand coming down and you square your hips. You're going to feel that in the outer edge of your left hip for sure. Inhale, left hand finds it and even pushes it a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen the heart. Left arm starts to rise up to the sky. Maybe the gaze follows. Big breath in. Remember, if you're not really flexible in your hamstrings, you're going to very likely want a block to give yourself a little bit more height, okay? One more deep breath. Rotate open a little more. And then take that left hand, wrap it around the back of the left leg. You hug in and start to bend your right elbow, kicking that right leg higher. From there, you can start to bring your right hand closer, hugging the left hand more. From there, kick up higher and take that right hand and you breathe. Inhaling, lengthening a little bit more. Exhaling, you're hugging that in a little bit more. Two more breaths. One more here. Take your palms, Press them flat. Inhale, step that right foot back slow. Look forward and float that left leg back. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, find that back bend. Exhale, let's find that downward facing dog. Take a nice big deep breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, dropping the knees wider than your hips. Untuck the toes, and let's take a wide-legged child's pose. Enjoy a breath, just relaxing into it. And then start to make the fingertips a little bit more active, as if you're trying to stretch your mat forward, but send your body back. Send the breath there. Two more breaths. Inhale, draw your gaze forward, and let's come all the way up. Toes hip width, knees hip width, and when you're ready, find your way back to down dog. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. Right leg kicks up to the sky. Step your right foot in between the palms as slow as you can. This time dropping the back knee, but keep it really strong. We tend to sink into it. It can be a lot of pressure in the knee. And so when you push yourself up, you want to make sure you're not sinking, but you're lifting. And then from here, bring the hands to the hips. Let's squeeze those shoulders back. Soft gaze up. And if that's there, we might even reach the arms up. Start to goalpost the arms, and this should be giving you a really nice stretch through the front of your left thigh. Dig the toes a little more, so that's an active position. If that feels strong for you, you can even start to reach back with the fingertips. Two more breaths. Make sure your hips are square. One more here. Let's inhale. Arms rise up to the sky. Big breath. Plant your palms. Lift the back leg strong. And float that right leg back. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. Good news, last lunge. Take the left leg up, big breath, and slowly step that left foot forward as slow as you can. Placing that foot, dropping the knee, but keeping those toes tucked so that when we come in, again, we always use our base to defy gravity, and we open and expand the heart. So even here, the thumbs are helping encourage a little more length into that low back. But if you get really strong in your core, scoop your belly in, you can start to reach the arms up. Bend the elbows out, and breathe deeply. If that feels good and we don't sacrifice any of that length, you can start to sway the arms back. Holding here. One more breath. Inhale, using the arms to add length in the spine. Planting the palms. This time we're going to go for a full flow. Float that left leg back, heart lengthens forward, and we lower. Inhale, finding our back bend. Press away. Exhale, we find our downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. One more. Inhale. Exhale. This time taking our right leg up towards the sky, big breath, bending that knee to pigeon pose. So right knee to right wrist, untuck the toes, and then from here, let's lift up. Now you all know the number one rule here is absolutely not even a single shred of tension in that knee. Lots of ways we can go on our back to modify this. Now let's inhale, press through your feet. So your legs are so strong, you don't actually need your hands. It's just the same power that you had in the lunge. And inhale here. If you want to start to play with that back bend, right hand comes in front. You're going to reach that left arm up, and then maybe we start to grab the left leg. Now it's not a runner's stretch. You're not pulling that knee in. It's opposite. You're kicking away. Some of you might start to hook the elbow, flip the fingers. You might even reach back and interlock the fingers. but keep the kick opening your heart. 2 more breaths. 1 more here. And then slowly take your time. We're going to reach forward and take a few breaths here in our forward fold. Let the head get heavy. Four more breaths. Remember, the calmer your breath, the more everything else in both your body and your mind will follow. Last one here. And then inhale, slowly take your time and coming all the way back up. Now from this position, you're actually going to lean over into your right hip. We're going to swing that left leg through for our double pigeon. So your right foot is going to come parallel with the front edge of your mat. And then from here, we're going to reach and grab that left foot. Now, this may or may not work. This is definitely one of the more tighter positions. So you might find you need your right leg straight out in front of your hip, or you might find that it's okay, but the knee's a little bit lifted, or you might find that after a while, the knee starts to come down. Again, it took me a while, so be patient with yourself. This is one where sometimes our mind goes into a really, really negative state. So if it's there, arms come forward. We might even bring the elbows down. We might start to let the head get heavy, but make sure that whatever you do, you're flexing your feet. As you flex your feet, you should feel that difference in the outer edges of the hips. Keep sending your breath there for 5. Again, redirect that focus. This is going to be met with resistance. So how do you deal with that when that comes up? There's 2 ways we can hold on to this. We can be really stubborn and use our willpower, but that means our body is going to be in a constricted and not happy state. Or we can maybe just ease off enough that we can breathe. And we can redirect that focus to keep that developed concentration with the breath. 1 more. Inhale, slowly come all the way up. And then you're going to take a hold of that left leg. Wiggle that right foot closer towards your left hip so that your left foot can go flat. Now the same rule applies. You can have that right leg straight forward if you need. Now left hand comes behind your back. Right arm is going to hug in to lift up tall, and then you draw your gaze over the left. Now the hand is wherever it's going to push you up. Right arm can start to reach up to the sky and hook into the elbow. Now imagine like you're pushing into a wall with that right hand. So you're not rounding, you're lifting. And if it's there, you're going to turn that palm in. See if you can squeeze it in between your knees, and then only do you reach back. But again, this can't cause you to round the bind. That means you're sacrificing the length in your spine. Lift up tall and breathe deeply here. Every inhale, we grow a little taller, finding more freedom in the position so that we can twist a little bit deeper. 1 more breath. Good, and then slowly release. Let's just do a counter twist. And then the fun part's making our way back to downward facing dog. So you can just cross your ankles, or you can go right the same way we came into it and find a nice little opportunity for a fun float. Back leg strong, float that right leg back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, find your back bend. Exhale, find your downward facing dog. Big breath in. Now feel free. Your body's going to feel quite different at this point. Take a smile. We're at that home stretch. Let's kick that left leg up to the sky. As slow as you can, step that left foot forward. So the biggest mistake we make here is we sink into the position. So you have to make sure that your legs are in a place where you can push away from the floor. This is perfect. Pressing down to keep the height. You might bring the hands back. You might go for the full back bend, where you bend into that right knee, reach and grab the foot. So the connection of your hand and your foot should give you the ability to lift. Then maybe you bring that elbow in. Then from there, your toes are hooking so that you're lifting up. You do not sacrifice any length. You lift up tall. Breathing deeper here for 3, 2, keep the back spacious, 1 more breath. And then slowly take your time, and then we release. So square your hips, walk your palms forward, elbows are gonna come to the floor. Now you can stack your fists. You can let your forehead come right down, but keep a sense of squaring of your hips. Breathe deeply here. We've got 4 more like this. And slowly take your time and push yourself up. Now from this position, you may sink into that left hip, swing your right leg forward. So your leg is going to be more at a diagonal, that shin, your left shin. So wiggle it forward. And then from this position, you're going to have that foot flexed. Grab a hold of that right leg. Sometimes we think this is where we're trying to go in pigeon and bring the foot and the shin parallel to the front edge of the mat. In a weight-bearing position, unless you are have never sat in a chair before in your life, it's probably not a good idea to even try that. So make sure that you're always being safe. In this position, we're okay. Take your hands by your side, lift up nice and tall so we get a little bit of length, and then hinge forward. Take your time, bring your hands forward. Maybe the head gets heavy. Remember the rule, we need to even, if it's a fake smile, we need to be able to get there. Remember, the breath should determine the depth. We want to find that resistance and then see if we can meet it with a calm, relaxed flow of the breath. So we're not reactively pulling out of the position, but we're also not shying away from finding that flexibility. So this concentration and this anchored awareness gives us the ability to not only get more flexible within our body, but it also trains our mind to breathe into what's uncomfortable. This is how we grow. Take 1 more deep breath. Inhale, we slowly roll all the way up. And then you take that left foot, you're gonna just kind of tuck it towards your right hip. Remember that left leg can be straight, perfectly fine. And you might find one needs to be and one doesn't. So the sides are quite different. When we work unilaterally, it really highlights that. So right arm is gonna reach up, you're gonna press down behind you and lift up tall. If that feels good, left arm's gonna reach up. You're gonna bring the elbow down, but it's leverage. From there, you're lifting tall. Then you might even turn that hand in. You might reach back, but again, whatever you're doing, you have to have a nice long line in your spine, and then we start to rotate. So make sure that left shoulder is staying down your back and lifting tall. As you exhale, you're opening a little bit more into that twist. Inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, twist. 1 more deep breath. On your next inhale, slowly come back. We can look the other way for a breath, and then we'll make our way into one last flow. So keeping that balance as you swing that right leg back, dig into the toes. So even here, don't sink, you're pushing so that there's hardly any work to lift that left leg. You're already working hard. Lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths. Anchor in with that breath. Don't let your mind tell you anything different, especially if it wants to reach over and press pause. We're almost there. 1 more breath. And then slowly take your time, bend into the knees, and let's kick the heels out to one side, making our way into a seated position. From here, you're going to inhale, knees will be bent. Make sure you're at the top of the mat and that there's nothing that's going to be in your way when you roll down. Now we're going to lean back. Let's actually grab the backs of the knees initially, lifting the legs. So use the hands, maybe straighten the arms, maybe we straighten the legs. We hold for 3. If you're feeling really strong, here's where we want to make sure we have that element of Tadasana. Now you can hear that quiver in my voice, so find that, meet it with your breath. One more inhale. Now let's keep this nice and strong as we bend into the knees, the hip width apart. Arms reach forward, and you're going to lower and scoop with control the whole time. From that position, reach your arms by your side. Let's plant through the feet, and we'll come into a bridge position. Lifting the hips up, breathing here. Now you can roll one shoulder underneath your back, followed by the next. The point of the hands needs to press down to open the heart, giving you more freedom and spaciousness in that back to breathe a little bit more. If you feel strong here, let's press through the left, kick through the right for 3. Now initially it's going to weigh you down, but push up and lift 2. One more breath. And slowly plant that left foot flat. Inhale here, readjust, and left leg comes up. Kicking up high, breathe deeply. Good. As that right foot presses down, kick higher with the left. One more breath. And then slowly place the foot down. Last breath to lift the hips high. And then we're going to release and take your time. Once the hips come down to the floor, let's wiggle the feet a little bit wider, hugging the knees towards one another, or flopping the knees, I should say. Close your eyes, take a nice big deep breath in. Let's let go of all of that hard work. When you're ready, start to draw the feet together. Let's hug both knees in towards your heart. And then let's kick the left leg up to the sky as you continue to hug your right knee in and lower slow. Drawing that left heel down to relax. Let the toes soften too so they can flop out, and rock your right knee side to side. You're going to notice there's a little point that gets a little bit sticky. So once you find that specific spot, you're going to settle into it and breathe deeply here. Now it's not just about pulling in. Remember, you're pushing away subtly. So there's that room for just a little bit of resistance to create some space at the hip. Because even here, if we just focus on pulling in, then it's compression. So we want to use our inhales no matter what to create a little bit of space. And then the beautiful thing is that it also allows us to inflate that low back. One more breath. Start to actively pull your left toes towards you. You're going to lift that left leg nice and controlled. Bend into the knee, and maybe even bring your forehead in. Slowly release. Keep the left leg where it is. Right leg kicks up. So with control, there's even some resistance with this shin so that you're not collapsing into the left side of the body as you relax. And then once that foot relaxes fully, you rock side to side with that left leg. Once you've pinpointed that specific spot, you feel the tension, settle into it. Relax your shoulders, and let's take 3 deep breaths. Resisting a little bit with that shin pressing into your hands. Hug a little bit deeper. Another deep breath. Start to actively pull your right toes back, scooping the belly button in so it's with control as you lift. And then from here, let's hug both knees into the chest. Inhale, slowly bring your forehead in, and then we'll finish here. Bringing the arms by your side, lifting the legs up towards the ceiling as strong as you can. Let's tuck the chin towards the chest, and let's see if we can lower those legs down towards the floor, finding that full length without sacrificing the low back. If it's there, arms rise up. We breathe for 3. Keep breathing. This is it for 2. One more breath. And slowly come back to center. From this position, head heavy. Let's plant the feet flat. Let the knees go a little wide. We've already done our twisting, but let's just do a nice little gentle rock side to side. And then when you're ready, take your time. Let's lengthen the legs out. Big breath in. Now you know what to do. Let's just take a deep sigh out and allow your breath to empower you to continue to practice dissolving your reactivity. So whatever comes up, let's breathe it out for a minute. Let's take a big breath in. Reaching the arms and the legs, and let's hug the knees in towards your chest. You're going to plant your feet, roll over onto your side, and gently push yourself all the way up. Take your time and bring your feet to a cross-legged position or lotus. Take a moment to truly thank yourself for deciding to show up on your mat today. Thank your body, because all too often we're way too hard on both. So thank you for showing up. Namaste. See you soon.